Good morning, all. In today's session, we will be going through error control. Okay, what is error control? Why error control is required? Okay, so basically, TCP is a reliable transport layer protocol. That means that an application program that delivers a stream of data to the TCP relies on the TCP to deliver the entire stream to the application program. That is nothing but whenever any data need to be transferred from one point to other point, this TCP should deliver it. That is error-free data should be delivered, right? There should be no errors or none of the particular package should be lost, as well as the sequence of that arrival should also be maintained, right? Or sometimes duplication of the packet also should not be done. So all these criteria or all these requirements need to be maintained by the TCP. So for that, there is a separate mechanism known as error control mechanism. If error occurs, what is the action to be taken? How we are going to detect the error, or how we are going to detect which packet or which byte of the stream has not been delivered? All that should be known. So there are certain mechanisms, there are certain rules which is followed by the TCP. Uh, in order to make sure that all the data, all the packets, all the segments are reached the destination. Okay, so basically, one setup is known as checksum. Okay, checksum is nothing but each segment, whichever segments you are going to transfer from the client to the server, or whatever it is, other way also. Whenever you transfer the segment, in each segment there will be a field known as checksum field, right? You may have seen the format of TCP header format. There we have something known as checksum field, okay, which is used to check for the corrupted segment. That is, if a segment is corrupted, okay, as detected by the invalid, it will be detected by looking into the checksum. Based on the bit pattern of the checksum, one can say whether it is corrupted or whether it is a valid data. Okay, suppose if it is corrupted, then that particular segment is discarded by the destination TCP and considered that particular segment as lost. Okay, so this is one technique using the checksum bit. Okay, other technique is by using the acknowledgement, the second technique. Okay, using acknowledgement. Under this acknowledgement, there are two types of acknowledgement. One is known as cumulative acknowledgement, and other one is known as selective acknowledgement. We call first one as ACK. Okay, second one as SACK. Okay, that is selective acknowledgement. So here, what is cumulative acknowledgement now? So basically, cumulative acknowledgement is nothing but, the TCP is originally designed to acknowledge the receipt of segment cumulatively. That is, from the sender sends a particular segment to the receiver. Okay, once it reaches the destination, after receiving that particular segment, the destination will send an acknowledgement to the receiver. Right, that is nothing but a cumulative process. The receiver advertises, and you are aware, right, when it sends a particular frame to that is acknowledgement is sent, what happens? 1 minute. Sorry, there was some interruption. Okay, this cumulative acknowledgement. Okay, what is cumulative acknowledgement? Whenever particular data, particular packet is received, for that an acknowledgement will be sent. As you know that this acknowledgement will contain the next segment address. So based on that, the acknowledgement received by the sender, the next segment will be transferred. Right? This is about the cumulative address acknowledgement. Uh, Coming to the selective acknowledgement. Okay, the second type of acknowledgement is selective acknowledgement. Here, SAC does not replace an acknowledgement, but it doesn't replace the previous ACK. But the difference here is, in addition, it reports the additional information to the sender. Additional information like a block of byte that is out of order, right? So suppose which in a particular segment there will be a lot of block of bytes. If any one of the byte is out of order, which byte is out of order, right? More information will be given under this SAC. Whereas in the previous case, if the message is received, an acknowledgement will be given. If not, no acknowledgement is given. Whereas here in this SAC, along with the acknowledgement, certain informations, if any errors are there or if any what you call corrupt messages are corrupted, such information will also be given. Okay, so Next is how we are going to generate an acknowledgement. Okay, how the acknowledgements are being generated. So vendors, there are certain criteria. Okay, what are the certain rules to be followed by this TCP to generate the acknowledgement. Six different rules are there. We'll go through these rules one by one. That is generating the acknowledgement. The first rule, that is piggybacking. So what is this piggybacking? Suppose say that when so I'll consider one end, that is A, sends a data segment to B. Okay, then what must do is it must include an acknowledgement that gives the next sequence number it expects to receive. Okay, if it is a bidirectional, okay, when A sends a message to B, along with the data, whatever the data has been transferred, sorry, along with the transfer, it also should include an acknowledgement which should contain the sequence number of next segment which it is being expecting to receive. Okay, so that the information that we will also come to know which is the next segment to be transferred, and also it will come to know that whether the previous segment has been transferred or not. Okay, so this rule decreases the number of segments needed and therefore reduces the traffic. So basically during the transfer of the data or during the transfer of an acknowledgement, along with that it will send the sequence number of the next segment to be transferred. Okay, that is the first rule. Second rule says that receiver has, if suppose the receiver has no data to send and receives an in order segments, then what? Okay, suppose say if a receiver has no data to send and suppose it receives an in order segment, if it receives some segment which is not at all in the order, then what is the action? Okay, so in that case, the previous segment has already been acknowledged, right? Obviously, the previous segment has been raised and it has been acknowledged. Okay. Then the receiver, if it has no data to send, what the receiver should do is receiver should delay sending an acknowledgement signal until another signal arrives or until the period of a time that has been passed. It has to wait for a particular time, and if it doesn't have anything to send, it has to wait for a particular time interval. Okay, or delay the acknowledgement to be transferred. Okay, next one is the third one is expected segment arrives at the receiver. Suppose say that an expected segment, okay, it arrives at the receiver, but previous in order segment not acknowledged. Suppose say that expected segment has arrived, but what has happened is previous segment has not reached the destination, it has not arrived in the order. Then what is the next step? What is the next step? So in that case, in that particular section, what we are supposed to do is there should be what the receiver does is it immediately sends an acknowledgement signal. It will not like wait for the previous signal. It will not say that the previous segment has not received and so acknowledgement will not be given. No. Suppose say that the previous segment is not received and it receives next coming segment. For that next segment itself, it will acknowledge. That is nothing but rule 3. Okay, expected segment arrives at the receiver, but actually previous is not in the order. Even though if it is not in the order, it will be discarded. That information will be stored. Previous segment was not in the order, and acknowledgement will be given to this expected segment itself. Okay, so next, rule number 4. Rule number 4 says that suppose say the segment arrives with an out of order sequence number. Okay, if at the for the destination, if the segment arrives, if the data pack arrives with an out of order sequence number, so what is the action to be taken? In that case, when a segment arrives with an out of order sequence number that is higher than the expected, so the receiver immediately sends an acknowledgement segment announcing that sequence number of the next expected segment. Okay, this leads to the fast retransmission of missing segment. That is nothing but, suppose if a segment arrives with an out of order sequence number that is higher than the expected, the receiver immediately sends an acknowledgement segment. Okay, it sends an acknowledgement segment announcing the sequence number of the next expected segment. Okay, even though that segment will be received, it also sends which is actually the next expected segment. So that number will be transferred. Okay. So next one is, suppose say if any segments are missing segment errors after a certain time interval, certain missing segments will arrive after a particular delay. So in that case, what should happen? In that case, the receiver sends an acknowledgement signal to announce that the next sequence number expected. In that case also, even though if it is arriving after a particular delay, it will receive it, and after receiving it sends an the next sequence, whichever datagram or whichever data has to be received, the next sequence number uh, will be sent by the receiver. Okay. Second, rule number 6, if duplicate segment arises. Suppose if duplicate segment arises, receiver discards the segments, okay, but immediately sends acknowledgement indicating the next in order segment expected. Even if duplicate message is errored, it will discard that segment, and the next segment whichever has to be received, that particular segment number will be sent to the acknowledgement. Okay, so these are the 6 rules. So we will go through it. I know that right now you may be feeling difficult to understand it. We will go through some different scenarios. So in that case, it will be familiar to you. Okay. I will explain the same 6 rule using a particular scenario. Okay. First one, now what is when this retransmission is required? Okay, whenever the error control mechanism is nothing but the overall mechanism of the error control relies on this retransmission. If any data is not received, or it has been lost somewhere in between, or invalid data, some data has been corrected. So in that case, retransmission should take place. So when this will take place? So basically, as you are aware that when a segment is sent, right, whenever a segment or a set of data has to be transferred from one point to other point, basically it is stored in the queue, right? At the sender itself, it will be stored in the queue. Okay, and after that, at the same time, during the transmission, one timer will be started, right? Timer will it will have its own deadline. Within the deadline, we have to receive the acknowledgement. If not, the retransmission will take place, right? Uh, so whenever the timer expires or when the sender receives 3 duplicate acknowledgements for the first segment in the queue, that segment is retransmitted. So one is when the timer expires or when it receives 3 duplicate acknowledgements. There is some mechanism which will send the 3 duplicate acknowledgements to the receiver. That is an indicator that an invalid message or invalid segment has been reached the destination. Okay, so in that case, retransmission will take place. So that is what given here. First one, retransmission after RTO. RTO in the sense retransmission timeout. Okay, when the transmission timeout occurs, in that case, retransmission will take place. And second one, retransmission after 3 duplicate acknowledgement segment. If you receive 3 duplicate acknowledgement signal, it is an indicator again that error has occurred. In that case, again, the retransmission will take place. Okay. And also one more thing, retransmission out of order segments. Okay, TCP implemented today do not discard the out of order segment. They store them temporarily and flag them as out of order segment until the missing segment arrives. Okay, so basically what happens in the out of order, that entire segments will not be discarded. Basically it will be stored somewhere. Okay, and it will wait. Somewhere, like say initially one segment data has received, second data has not received, third we have received, fourth we have received. So discarding 1, 3 and 4 is of no use. It will be stored in the queue, and whenever this data 2 arrives, that will be placed in the queue in a particular order, and then it will be given to the application. That is nothing but out of order segment. Okay. So these are the different FSM we have already gone through. This is at the FSM at the sender side. Okay, basically at the sender side, there are 2 states, that is ready state as well as the blocking state. So the sender enters the ready state whenever a particular byte is there to be transferred. Chunk of byte is expected from the process, and we are going to transfer it. Okay, whenever this process starts, that particular byte basically will be stored in the buffer at the sender, and as well as a timer will be started. Right, whenever timer is started. Then what happens? Suppose say that if timer or if the window is full, if that particular buffer window is full, then the transmission will take place. Okay, in that case, it will enter the blocking state. If it is not full, it will be in the ready state. It will continuously it will receive it. Once it is enters the blocking state, it means that window is full. From there, the transmission should take place. As well as if an acknowledgement is received, if a corrupted acknowledgement is received, you are going to discard it. If duplicate acknowledgement is received, again retransmission will take place. Okay, so this is the FSM. This is FSM at the receiver side. Okay, that is whenever a packet is arrived, or it has to receive that particular segment, and it has to send an acknowledgement request for the delivery of the kbytes of data from the process stream. Okay, this in the receiver side only it will be in the ready state. Okay, continuously if an error occurs, what we are going to do, that is, if no error, an acknowledgement will be sent. If an error occurs, no acknowledgement will can be sent. uh, Suppose if it is an error free but out of order segment, then store the segment. If no duplicate, store that particular segment. Okay, if there is no duplicate of segments, if the duplicate of segment is error, then you have to discard that duplicate. All these are cases have been mentioned here, which are the different states or different inputs for this particular transfer. Okay. So we'll just go through the scenarios, different scenarios. This will give you the clear cut picture. Okay, say the first scenario, that is a normal operation. Okay, consider the first scenario. We will assume that the data transfer is bidirectional. Okay, client as well as server transfers the data in both way. That is, transfer as well as receive take place between the two systems. Okay, the client TCP sends one segment. So you can observe here, say rule one. What the rule one stated was, if you remember, rule one was like piggy banking, right? There we have listed out 6 rules. The piggy banking, that is, when A sends, suppose in this case, when A sends a data segment to B, okay, it must include an acknowledgement that gives the next sequence number. So here, suppose say rule one, this is rule one, it says that when say client sends a packet to the server, the sequence number is included, that is the starting sequence number and the end sequence number, which is an indicator how many bytes of data has been transferred. That is say 1201 to 1400. So we can say that 200 bytes of data is transferred along with the acknowledgement number, say 4001. 4001 is nothing but it is an sequence number what this client is expecting to receive from the server. Okay, the starting address from what that client is expecting to receive from the server. So that is nothing but the rule one. It should send an acknowledgement with the segment. So this it reaches the server. Once it reaches the server, as per the acknowledgement, the client is expecting the data from 4000. Okay, 4000 to a certain dip based on the location, 4000 to say 5000. So this many bytes of data will be transferred. Along with that, again same thing, rule one, an acknowledgement what the server is expecting to receive. Okay, a server is expecting to receive the data starting from 1401. Okay, so that is what is given here. Okay, so along with that, uh, say when this particular packet has arrived, as you know that timer will also be started. Okay, once the acknowledgement is arrived, the rule 2 says, what about the rule 2? Rule 2 says that when receiver has no data to send, okay, suppose say when the receiver has no data to send at all, so in that case what happens here is the timer will be started. Okay, it will wait for a particular time interval. Okay, some say 500 milliseconds, just an example. It waits for 500. After 500 millisecond and timeout occurs, it means that it will wait for 500. If there is no data to be transferred within that 500 millisecond, then the rule 2 is applied. What is that rule 2? Rule 2 says that when the receiver has no data to send and it receives an in order segment, and the previous segment has already been acknowledged, okay, now what it has to do, it will send only the acknowledgement number in the sense, it is nothing but the segment what the client is waiting for to receive from the server. Okay, now it has no data, it will say no data to transfer. So it will start a timer, wait for a particular time interval. After timeout, it just sends an acknowledgement. That is say 5001. It is nothing but an indicator stating that there is no data to transfer. Okay, and it is expecting a data from the server starting from the location 5001. So server will reply for that. Say from sequence from 5001 to a certain location, it will send a packet along with the acknowledgement number what it is expecting from. Acknowledgement number is nothing but the previous acknowledgement because it has not received any data from 1401. So it will send the same packet. Again, this timer will start within, if it within 500 millisecond, if it acknowledges, fine. If not, okay, within 500 millisecond, if say one more rule can be applied here. Suppose if within the time interval, if it receives one more data from the server, there is a chance one more data from the server, say 6000 to 7000, even the data is ready, it will send it. So right now within a particular time interval, we have received 2 segments. In that case, rule 3 will be applied. What is rule 3? When a segment arrives with a sequence number that is expected by the receiver and the previous in the order segment has not acknowledgement, the receiver immediately sends an acknowledgement segment. That is nothing but say it has received two packets immediately. Okay, even though there is no data transfer from the client to server, it will consider this, and immediately the recent segment whichever has been received, for that an acknowledgement will be transferred. What is that acknowledgement? The next number is nothing but 7001. So in this case 7001 will be immediately transferred when the timeout arises. So this is about rule 3. Okay, rule 1, sending an acknowledgement. Rule 2, if there is no data to be transferred, it will wait for a particular time interval, and after that it will just send an acknowledgement what it is expecting to receive from the server. Okay, rule 3 says that whenever there is no data, whenever it receives multiple data from the server, it will acknowledge for the recent segment. Okay, recent segment when the timer has lapsed. Okay, this is the normal scenario where there is no error, nothing. Okay, coming to the scenario that is lost segment scenario. Suppose say if any segments are lost during the transfer. Okay, if I consider this particular section, you can observe here the client initially, whenever a particular segment is being transferred, that segment will be stored in the client's client buffer. Along with that, the timer will start. Right, when the timer starts, the sequence will be transferred. Okay, with an acknowledgement number, and when it is received, it will be stored in the buffer. Okay, based on the sequence itself, it will be stored in the buffer. Okay, so it can within a particular time interval, any number of segments can be transferred. Okay, once it reaches, as you know that when one or more than one segment occurs, always for the last segment whichever has been received, for that an acknowledgement will be given. So the last segment received is 700, so therefore the acknowledgement number is 701 according to rule 3. In the buffer, these two segments will be stored. Okay, so 701 is the acknowledgement. Within the time interval it has to receive. If not, again retransmission will take place. Okay, so first section is complete. Now the second section, the client will send a segment starting from 701 to 800 along with acknowledgement. Now we will assume that this particular segment has been lost during the transmission. This segment has been lost. So what happens? So what will happen? It will the timeout has not occurred. Remember, suppose if the timeout has occurred, again it has not received an acknowledgement, again retransmission will take place. Now in this case, timeout has not occurred. Before the timeout, one more segment has been transferred. Right? What is that one more segment? That is starting from 801 to 900. It has reached the destination, but actually the server is expecting the segment starting from 701 because it has not reached, right? So it is expecting 701. Therefore, what happens, you can observe here, this 801 to 900 segment will not be discarded. It will be stored in the buffer. That is nothing but an out of order segment buffer. It will be stored in a buffer with one segment later. Okay, and for that an acknowledgement will be given with the previous acknowledgement number itself, 701. It is an indicator for the client that the segment starting from 701 is not at all reached the destination. So what happens whenever the timeout occurs, again that packet starting from 701 to 800 will be resent. Okay, that is nothing but rule 4. Rule 4 in the sense, if any packets are arrived in the in order, not in an order, then it will not be discarded but stored in a buffer in a particular arrangement, and the previous segment acknowledgement itself will be transmitted. Okay, then resegment will take retransmission will take place. During the retransmission, say 701 to 800, already it has received the sequence from 801 to 900. Therefore, the next acknowledgement number will be 901. So you can look into this buffer, it is in a particular order. Okay, so this is about the loss segment. What happens when the loss segment occurs? Fine. And the last scenario, say a fast retransmission. In the fast retransmission, you can observe here. Okay, in the fast retransmission, say same procedure, the client will initially start the timer at that particular segment will be started, say starting from 101 to 200, acknowledgement X to the server. Okay, receiver buffer will be, it goes and places more places in the buffer. Within the timeout, one more segment is transferred, which is 201 to 300. The acknowledgement, it has reached the destination. So two segments are stored in the buffer, and acknowledgement will be the next segment, which is 301 will be given. Now a timeout has occurred. So the next segment starting from 301 to exactly, here we'll assume that an acknowledgement has been lost. Okay, so in that case, what happens? Okay, this is one for this is second technique, fast transmission technique. When it is been lost, the next we'll assume the next sequence has been transferred 401 to 500. Okay, with an acknowledgement X as X. So here it reaches the destination, but acknowledgement will be not 4501, it will be 301 because the segment starting from 301 to 400 is not at all reach the destination. So the acknowledgement is 301. It is the first duplicate. Okay, it reaches here. Now here what the server does is it sends the next, it will also have the information. It sends the next segment, which is 501 to 600. It reaches the destination. Acknowledgement will be 301 itself. Okay, it sends the next segment 601 to 700. See, at the same time it will be saved in the receiver buffer also. 600 to 700 is also sent. It will be stored in the buffer, but acknowledgement is 301 itself. Now we have received three duplicate acknowledgement. Okay, third duplicate acknowledgement has been received. So now the client will come to know that the segment starting from 300 to 400 has not reached the destination. Again, the fast retransmission will take place. Okay, it will restart the timer immediately. Okay, it will not wait for the timeout. Retransmission will take place immediately, and retransmission of 301 to 400 will take place immediately. Once it reaches the destination, the acknowledgement number will be whatever sequence has been raised earlier. The maximum sequence is nothing but 700 plus 1701 acknowledgement will be given to the client. Okay, this is how the fast retransmission will take place. So like that, these are the different scenarios how using the TCP, how the error control is mechanism is followed. Okay.